Alright, I decided to start working on this project. Yeah, basically right now I'm dealing with getting rid of all of the bolts in this saw. I got all of them loose except for this one, and it's starting to strip out, so I'm gonna fight with that right now. Let's see. I've been letting it sit overnight. Oh, fucking A. But anyway, I've been letting it sit overnight, soaking in some WD-30. So yeah. The only problem is that right now it's stripped out the way you loosen it, so I can't really get the best grip on it. Alright, let's see if it's a snugger fit now. Not at all. Okay, that's a much better grip. Happier with that. Now, I want to try to give it some heat. I guess that's a nice thing about these old saws. They're not made out of plastic. The only thing that'll burn on this is all the bar oil and dust stuck in it. Oh, come on. Oh. Maybe now that it's hot, put some WD on it. That bolt is stuck. Alright, we caught it on fire now, so yeah. Look what I found. An old snap-on screwdriver whack-a-mole thing. Alright, you son of a bitch. Oh, but is slamming this down on that gonna break something? Oh. Dude, I don't know. This thing is not coming loose. I'm gonna drill it out. That is ridiculous. I'll just put a new screw and nut in there. Good to go. So I decided it'd be a lot easier to drill it out with it disconnected from the saw, so I could just put the handle in the vise, so I don't have a chance of breaking anything pushing on it. Just pop out of there. And that comes out, goes into the bowl. Ha ha! Now, put this bad son of a chicken in the vise. As soon as I figure out the best way to put it in here. Oh, sir. Alright, I went to a smaller drill bit. Fuck yes, we got it out. The part I don't understand is that it wasn't even tight on the threads. So I don't know what the hell. That's some voodoo shit. Man, now that I finally got this off and the rest of the rear handle, I already tried to take these out, but same thing, no go, so whatever. I don't really need those off, so I'm just gonna work around it. Basically right now, I'm gonna put a paper towel in the exhaust, paper towel in here, and I'm going to clean the saw off. Get it as clean as I can, so that way when I take it fully apart, the less shit will fall inside. Now, for cleaning saws off, I like to use a stick. Alright, like I said, I'll use a stick and I'll just kind of scrape as much of it off as I can, because the wood isn't really going to scratch the paint. I mean, I'm not really too worried about that on this saw, but you know, if you want to be semi-careful, it's better than a screwdriver. Yeah, you just scrape. Now, once I get those thick, hard clumps off, then I go through with a air. As you can see, it looks a lot better, nice and clean. Now I'm gonna take the cylinder off. Oh. All right, got all the bolts out. Oh. Alright, make sure I don't lose all the bolts. One fell in my boot. So that's 3. One stuck right in there. We got 2 washers, 3 washers, 4 bolts. That washer's stuck. All right. Oh my god, dude. This cylinder is in really good condition. As you can see, that's why I wanted to take it off. Like, look at all that buildup. But just look how good this is. That is in really good shape. Man, I could have sworn this thing was brand new. Never used. Like, look at that. That is amazing. I mean, look at this piston. I had to clean up the top because it was covered in carbon, but just beautiful. What a great find. All right, I got the port work done. Not a whole lot. I beveled the sides of the transfers. Want some more fuel in there. And where is it? I cleaned up the exhaust. I raised it probably 1,000. It's like such a small amount. Now the reason I didn't really go extreme was because the best running Pioneer I've ever had was a bone stock cylinder. The only thing I did to it was everything else. The carb, the reed, ignition timing. So I'm going to be doing all of that to this P50. But I wanted to just open up the lowers a little bit to let more flow in. Alright, so now that I got the saw clean, I got the cylinder ported, I gotta do some cleanup. It's getting messy, it's getting hard to concentrate. Let's do that. Alright, so I got it tidied up a little bit. It's a sketchy chair. I gotta make some new gaskets, so I'm gonna start by scraping off the old ones. Alright, so I got the old gasket scraped off. Now I'm just pondering on how I'm going to perfectly replicate that. Okay, I think I have an idea. But first, I'm going to I'm going to take the reed cage off and do that gasket. Same time I do that. 2 birds, 1 stone. Okay, let's get this reed cage off. And I want to inspect how everything is in here. Because if it's caked with dust, then that wouldn't be good for a first fire up to have all that go into my really good cylinder. And look at that, it is. So a good thing I took that off. As you can see, dirt. Now for making the gasket, I think I'm gonna trace it out on paper first to make sure everything's perfect. Draw a circle in the middle. And then again. This paper is a lot easier to cut out than a gasket, and I can change something if I fuck it up. Oh, I really wish I had a protractor here so I could draw a perfect circle. That'd be nice. Well, that will work. Now you just kind of smush it all down, and the grease from the cylinder and my hands will imprint everything. Alright, now that we have our template, I got trace that onto an actual gasket. And then we'll be set. Alright, so I got thin, thick, and medium. I think I'm gonna go for medium for the base gasket.
just to raise the transfers, the upper transfers just a little bit. And like those P50s have some insane compression, so I don't think it'll hurt if I lower that just a tiny bit. But yeah, I'm gonna use medium. And then again, if I don't like it, I can always go thinner or thicker. So yeah. Let's go. We got our base gasket made. I'm about to go inside and wash out the cylinder. But first, I gotta put together the bearing. Of course, I forgot it was in there. I went to clean it, it fell out, the needle bearings came out. So I gotta clean it, put that back together, and then clean this out, reassemble. Alrighty then. We got all the bolts cleaned up. We got the cylinder washed out. Let's put the top end back on. Yes, sir. Now, for lubricant, when I'm putting it all together, I just use 2-stroke oil. Like, for the rod, I'll lube that bad chicken up. Gotta swap hands. Ooh. As soon as I turned the camera off to fuck with it some more, it just slid right in. So, whatever. Now, we gotta put our C-clip back in. These are, oh wow. That went in easy too. You know, it's almost like this saw wants to run. You know what I mean? Just like that. Oh, mother. Oh, that's a huge rip. Oh, no, I got fucking oil everywhere. And I forgot to put my base gasket in. Huge fail. Well, I don't know why it's trying to tip over now. Damn it. Okay, try 2. Base gasket. On. Ooh, on the wrong way. Actually, let's do it like this. There we go. Alright. Now let's put the jug on. You know, a good thing I caught that before I put all the bolts in. That would have sucked a little bit. There we go. Alright, now I'm gonna put all these little washers back on. Oh, that one fell. Okay, and we shouldn't use a magnetic screwdriver. Alright, now that I did my thing to the reed cage, I noticed there's some cracks on the inside, which happens to all of them. So instead of JB Weld this time, I'm going to try some Loctite. Maybe it'll work, maybe not. If it doesn't, I'll just take it back apart and do it how I usually do it. Started raining out. I gotta piss. Alright, now it's time to put the reed block back in. And I really like this stuff. Indian head gasket. I'm sure it's not even called that anymore because of, you know why. And
instead of making a new gasket, I'm just going to blop this stuff on. Oh, definitely make sure to wipe it off your hands immediately, because when this stuff dries, whew, good luck getting it off. And just like that, the top end is now back on. And this saw is ready for a carb, a coil, new gas lines. Runda. Now I'm hoping a good blow of a hammer will get this bad chicken off. That's how I usually get flywheels off. You just put the nut on. So, well, you can't have the nut too high because then it pushes all the threads down. So you want the nut basically flush with the top of the threads. And right there, I'm starting to fuck shit up. So, yeah, that ain't gonna work. Although I don't think I hurt the threads, so that's good. And with this saw, since it's not reverse threaded like the the 1420, the threads on the flywheel stripped out. So I had to special order the new nut, and then I had to fix the threads on the crankshaft. And that fucking sucked. Now, if hitting it with a hammer doesn't work, you need to get one of these doohickeys. And I saved the bolts from the last time I had to do this, which are these. Although I can only use 2 of them, so. It's these right here. Glad I saved them. I knew they'd come in handy again. And then you just need a bunch of washers. Something to thread them in. Thread them in as far as they'll go. And I really wish I had the proper end to this puller, but I do not. And I believe this takes the same size as a scrunch. So then I use a scrunch to really snug it up, and then I hit it. Oh. Sometimes these are just really on there. Although it's starting to come because it did loosen up. Ugh. Although truthfully,
that's not coming off without a battle. And I don't really need to take it off, so I mean, I was just gonna do a timing advance, but there's no point in fighting over it for such a little thing. Maybe once I run the saw and it gets well lubricated and all that shit, it'll free up, but I'm not gonna fight it unless I absolutely have to. Okay, so back on the Pioneer project. I forgot to grab some things when I was at the office. I grabbed a coil off of a P40, and that ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work at all. So yeah, I wonder how much a coil is for a P51. Alright, so yeah, the flywheel is like on here. There's no getting that off, and I do have an XL12 coil I could use, but I don't wanna, I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait until later on the road, get an actual P51 coil, because I do have another P51, but it runs really good, and I don't want to steal parts off of it just to make this run. So I think I'm just gonna put this saw back together, put some gas lines on it, put the pipe on it, and just, yeah, put it back on the shelf, and when I have the opportunity, I will get the coil. But close, but not close enough. Now, I want to see if I can fix this recoil, because I don't know exactly what happened to it. Nice. All right, I got the pieces all put back together. This is a pipe that I built for my 395. Fits on the Pioneer pretty good. Sticks out a little bit, but not enough for it to look bad, not in my opinion. Yeah. Things I'm missing, well, not missing. I have a carburetor for this. I just need a coil. So, I don't know, time will tell. Maybe I'll get lucky and find a good cheap one on eBay that works, or I'll try and take off the flywheel so I can put whatever coil onto it, and then I can just move the flywheel so the timing's correct. But yeah, that's a wrap up for this P51. I'm gonna go put it on the shelf, and if any of you have a P51 coil that you don't need and want to send to me, I'll gladly take it. Oh yeah, that is a nice sight. Okay, we got the P74. I need to tear this thing back apart. I got another, well, I got a couple 372 top ends, not brand new, good shape, OEM. I just gotta mock them up so they fit onto there, and then I need to either move the coil to where it should be so it's bolted and I can use the flywheel key, and the coil would have to go up here, or I might try and get some valve lapping compound like Aaron Lynch said, and just smear that over the crank and then put the flywheel on, snug it up. Maybe that'll work. He said it would, so you know, I got faith in the guy. He seems to know what he's talking about. P50, it needs a coil. I have the rest of the parts to make it run. It just needs a carb put on it and a gas filter. That's it, and a coil. Like I said, you know, I'm gonna keep my eye out for a original coil, and if I don't and I get impatient, I might just make some other coil work, probably off of a 372, and make my own mount, and then try and break off the flywheel, and then do the same thing, get rid of the key, put some lapping compound in. And then we got a P60 Just kidding. It's another P-51. But this runs really good. It's stock carb. I got the air filter for it. And all of them are piped. And this one is ported, and this one is ported. But yeah, that is the Pioneer collection now. I'm getting a little moist just looking at them all. Now I'm going to spend the rest of my time and organize this box of stuff here. And just tidy up a little bit in this room. Peace.